Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are here with week 1 of the NPL season 5. It's about time. I think I uploaded my draft recap in like early December, mid December, and upload my preseason matches like right before Christmas or so. Um, Definitely hyped for the season. If you haven't checked out my squad, go and watch my team build. That should be one of my latest videos. But anyway, we are starting the season versus my boy Nova, aka Tafari, aka whatever, aka the coach of the New York Greninjas, and it's our first of 3 divisional matchups to start the season. He's in my division, and he's a very threatening team, to be honest. Has the Mega Scissor, the Zatu, the Terrakion, the Vaporeon, the Garchomp, and the Volcarona. He also has stuff like Greninja on the squad. Rotomao, I think Komala he had at this point when we played, and like just a bunch of threats that I had to prepare for. Like I knew that stuff like Scissor and Garchomp was coming. Wasn't sure about the rest. I figured Greninja was likely to come because my team doesn't match up too well versus it, but I figured Volcarona might come, even though I had like some decent soft checks to it in form of the Mach and the Salazzle. But like, Salazzle can't do too much back besides toxicing it, so it's not the best counter out there. But yeah, like definitely an interesting matchup. Depending on his sets, like Volcarona can be like pretty annoying if I lose my Salazzle, if my Mach gets weakened. Even if like my Gallade gets down, because Gallade can outspeed and kill with Rock Slide. It's like a tricky matchup, especially when he like brings stuff like Bandit to really break down my Walker, because my Walker doesn't appreciate switching to Bandit edges. Yes, Alomomola can pretty much shoot anyone hit, and then I can go out into a resist, but it still gets weakened. Like I take like 55 or 60 from a Bandit Stone Edge, and then I have to go into Pharaoh, which gets weakened, and reads that you can just go into Volcarona or Zatu, get initiative back. So it's really tough for me to play. Scissor is like a huge threat to my team. Absolutely insane mon versus me. My best counter and like my only resist to the dual stab is Salazzle, and Salazzle takes 50 from uninvested knockoffs. So definitely an interesting team. I won't go over everything here because I like don't want to reveal too much stuff that I brought, because we play each other again at some point in the season. But I bring an SV Drain Punch Close Combat Rock Slide Gallade, which like absolutely fucks it. Everything gets O-code at +2 after Rock. Everything on this entire team, which is absolutely wild. We get Alo, bulky obviously. Got a nice Clef here, nice Clef. I think it has Moonblast. That's what I'm saying. Got a nice Mach here. Nice Ferrothorn. You know, Mix Wall Ferrothorn. Black Sludge Salazzle, like a little bulky. I can actually talk about Salazzle because after this week I'm gonna trade it away. It's like a max HP, timid Salazzle, which with enough speed for I think Terrakion, max HP, so I can check Scissor a little bit better with Toxic, Sludge with Fire Blast and Thin Power Ice, I think. Anyway, let's go right into it. As I said, I can't cover too much because I don't want to reveal too many of my sets, because I might bring the exact same sets again later in the season versus Nova. So definitely gotta make sure that I preserve my my strats here. Yeah, what else do I have to say? Like, yeah, winning this game is obviously crucial. Winning inside your division is probably like the safest way to make playoffs. If I go 6-0 in my division, I'm pretty much guaranteed to make the playoffs, because you're always gonna win 1 or 2 outside of your division games, and then like all other guys in the division have like 2 losses to you, which makes it much easier for you to cruise like through the season. Don't have to like play catch up as I had to do in, for example, season 3, where I started 1-4 and had to win like win 6 of my last 7 matches, which I did to make playoffs. But yeah, that's a grind that I am not willing to make, willing to have, and I'm like trying to win these first 3 games of the season for sure. So let's get right into it. I decided to lead off with my Clef here because I think it matches up fairly well versus everything that's not Mega Scissor. I figured he might lead with the Mega Scissor, and I contemplate leading this thing here, Salazzle, but I figured like Clef catches a nice Chomper lead. It matches up fairly well versus Xatu, because if Xatu is like just there, he tries to stay in because he expects me to like get up rocks or something. I could potentially Calm Mind up if I had to Calm Mind and go from there. Like if Volcarona comes in, I have like easy switches to Salazzle or Mach potentially, so that's not too big of concern. If Terrakons leads off, I can just Moonburst up. If Vaporeon comes in, he pretty much has to switch out because I could Calm Mind up over, in his face. So like especially when he doesn't know my set, he's like kind of forced to bring in Scissor anyway, and then like I don't lose too much with my lead matchup. So he leads off with Scissor sadly, and this means I will go into my Salazzle here on the potential U-turn or Bullet Punch. I figured he might just Bullet Punch here in the first place because in the first turn, I mean, because like Clef is a threat. If like Clef gets out of hand, could be annoying, but he also might predict me to get up rocks and U-turn out into Xatu or so. But I go into my Salazzle as he hard switches into Xatu. Probably being a slow Scissor, he doesn't know if like I pack the Fire Blast and outspeed him potentially, and he tries to catch my rocks. But I'm not trying to get rocks up there. I think I don't even know if this was my rocker this week. Might be Ferrothorn, but yeah. Anyway, I get a Salazzle, which doesn't have the best matchup here. So I go to my Mach as my opponent. Makes the hard switch into Vaporeon. Smart play here. Smart play. Pulling the double there because he doesn't want to get pursued. But even if he has the Colbur Berry, he probably wants to preserve that for a later spot, because if I have like as the knockoff on Gallade, Xatu can still revenge it or put it in range with a Psychic on Air Slash or whatever he has for Mega Scissor to revenge, or for Scarfer in the back to revenge it. So smart play, preserving the Colbur Berry here. Really like was the best way of like covering all options, because Salazzle can't really stay in on Xatu, and if I stay in Fire of a Sludge Wave, Vaporeon easily chooses it. If I switch out into Mach or Clef, like Vaporeon isn't too bad versus that, because even if Clef comes in and I have Command, he could have the Raw or the Haste, so that's not too big of a concern for him. Anyway, Mach is in here. I don't really want to stay in and knock off because, you know, like he can Scout by me, and so I decide to go into my Aloe and then like catch the Skull and then go Ferrothorn on potential Toxic and try to get on my rocks or fire off a knockoff. So I do just that, go into Aloe, gets the Scald Burn, which doesn't matter. I really like the Scald Burn a little bit better than the Toxic, and like yeah, it isn't really of a big concern for me because I might be Waterfall actually in this. Oh no, I'm not Waterfall in the set, so it doesn't burn at all. It doesn't manage at all. He got the burn there, but I might go into Pharaoh here, or I fire off the Toxic, but I think I go into Pharaoh. Yes, I do. I'm trying to catch him on whatever he wants to do, but he goes back into Xatu, and I know the Heat Wave should come here, and I decide to go back into my Mach to pursue the shoot the Heat Wave, the AV coming in clutch here. I think I can like reveal that I had the AV, and because like Heat Wave did 9, so I get a crit through the Colbur Berry, which is kind of unfortunate for him, but not the end of the world. He's still at a solid amount of health. But like obviously he has to roost up eventually to catch a +2 knockoff from Mega Gallade. At full, I think he can live it, especially if he's physically defensive, which he reveals to be. He has a solid amount of physical defense here, and I get the pursuit off. And the next time Xatu comes in and stays in on my Mach switch, it's pretty much dead. So that's cool. Scissor comes in. I could go for the Fire Blast here. I think I packed this on the Mach. Not sure. Definitely could. I could have it, but there's no reason to for him to not click U-turn. It's a pretty free play because Aloe or Garchomp are pretty free switches on the U-turn anyway. So I decided to go into my Salazzle, catch the U-turn. Can't really allow him to SD up or anything, so that is the safe play. Goes into his Vaporeon. I go back into my Aloe and we play the same game as again. I think I go into my, I think I go for Toxic here, trying to like make him stay in and fire off wishes, fire off heal burst, force him basically to stay in so I get my Pharaoh in safely. And now I make a play because like this game doesn't go anywhere at the moment. Nobody really has momentum. He rules heal by wish, protect, wish, toxic, scald, scald, yeah, scald, wish, heal by. And I think his last move was toxic over over the protect, but I'm not 100% sure. So now Parathorn is in versus before, and he doesn't have a reason not to go Zatu here, or even Volcarona if I want to make the Rocks player so just attack with Power Whip or a Leech Seed or so, and like he's no reason to stay in, and I think his switch-ins are potentially Mega Scissor, but he doesn't really want to catch a Leech Seed. Garchomp could come in if he predicts me to switch out into my Muk again to catch Zatu, which would be a fair play. Volcarona could come in, which would be nice for my Gallade, and like pretty much everything that wants to come in, besides Mega Scissor, is pretty much Gallade setup. So I decided to double out into my Gallade, as like his wish. You know what I'm saying? If he switches out into Garchomp, and like it's not the end of the world. He says in the chat, he says like, "Ooh, now I have to choose fodder," which is kind of right because if I have the Ice Punch, he's in a bad spot. I don't have the Ice Punch, obviously I have Close Combat, Drain Punch, and Rockslide, but if this is an offensive non-Scarf Chomp, and looking at his team, I don't think he has a reason to bring Scarf Chomp, because his Ladi checks are like Scissor, which is a fair Ladi check. Volcarona, which can always chew a hit from a +1 Ladi and revenge with the Bug Buzz or put it in range. He could even have Scarf Director, which would kinda make sense. Or just doesn't have a doesn't have a Scarf. This could be Scarf, but anyway, I'm thinking he might want to preserve his Garchomp, because if he stays in and he's not Scarf and I get the Ice Punch off, he loses his Garchomp and really struggles versus the combination of Muk and Alomomola, because those two can pretty much beat the rest of his mons combined. Alomomola can Toxic, the Vaporeon can beat Terra, can 1 vs 1, choose hits from Scissor, and I think I have the Rocky Helmet on there. On the Muk can obviously beat Zatu, and Muk can also beat Volcarona. So if he loses his Garchomp here, if it's not Scarfed without getting damage off, that would be like a bad play. So I decided to SD up, as I actually outspeed, so I know he's like he's not Scarf, and he gets 54 with the Earthquake, which means he's not max attack, which is good to know. Probably has some speed, probably enough for like Rotom or so that I have on my squad, and then like max HP or lots of HP and like some attack. Oh, wait a second. And like I can just Drain Punch it, because if he's like, I can get him down, yes, and I get like pretty much all the way back to full with the Drain Punch here. If he has the Rough Skin, I take some shit, but I still shoot the next Earthquake, for sure. So yeah, like I do at least with the plus 2 Drain Punch at least like 75 or so, 80. I think I do at least 80, and with Garchomp's HP, if he's max HP, I get back up to full anyway, so this is kind of nice. I go for the Drain Punch here, and I actually get a crit, which is huge, because he actually reveals to be Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet. So Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet, yes, I got back to full, but with the Earthquake I would have been at like 18%, and then like I live probably after I get like the next Drain Punch off, I probably live at like 1 HP or so, maybe at like 1%, maybe up to 5% of the next Drain Punch, depending on the roll I got on the first Drain Punch, and pretty much I'm forced to switch out because it can just prevent me with Mega Scissor. But I could obviously try to wish Gallade back up later on the Vaporeon, which is a thing, but not getting getting the crit is absolutely huge, because now he can't revenge me. He pretty much says that this game is over, but I kind of disagree, because now he makes the play he has to make, or one of the plays he has to make. He goes Scissor, and Scissor, because he's unboosted, because I didn't take the damage first, I can like just Drain Punch it. He should have gone probably, in my opinion, into Vaporeon, force me to close combat it. Try to fish for the Scalp, and if he doesn't close combat me, if I don't close combat him, but Drain Punch can Scalper, and if I close combat him, I'm at -1, and he can probably revenge me with the Mega Scissor Drain Punch, Bullet Punch if he's offensive. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. Just as in goes for the Bullet Punch. I get the Drain Punch, get pretty much all the way back. I go for another Drain Punch now. Scissor goes down, and Gallade is looking clean. So if he doesn't have a Scarper, this is actually game. He might think I have like no coverage for the Xatu, or the Xatu can maybe live a knockoff if I have it and T-Wave it, but I actually have the Rock Slide, knock it clean out, and Gallade is actually gonna win this game here. This goes down to a close combat. Like he could have like baited me to go for a close combat on the Vaporeon, maybe switch into Volcarona on the close combat to get the Flame Body off, because I'm never Rock Sliding it. Volcarona if he gets it. My Gallade is pretty much done for the day, and he can like revenge me pretty much easily, but he didn't do that. Like he probably just gave up after the crit, which I don't blame him for. It was kind of unfortunate. A Drain Punch hits Reaction, which obviously doesn't outspeed, and Volcarona is not scared, and I get the Rock Slide kill. So Gallade going 6-0, 46-0 win in the first game of the season. Pretty unfortunate for my opponent, but without a Scarfer and a defensive Scissor as it revealed to be, he really struggled to revenge Gallade anyway. He might have been Endure Chomp, which actually would have been super annoying for my Gallade to deal with if I didn't get the crit. But yeah, like the thing is, even if he like lived the first Drain Punch, I probably could have wished up my Gallade in front of the Vaporeon, or in front of anything that I like, maybe like gotten a suicide kill off, suicide wish off potentially, and like bring Gallade, catch the wish, and then go from there. But definitely would have made the game much harder for me. Weakening Garchomp was nice because afterwards I could have just gone Salazzle, pick it off, or I could have gone Clefable, pick it off with the Moonblast. His Clef answers weren't that great, to be honest. Yes, he's Volcarona and Scissor, but those are easily checked by my Fat Core and Aloe, Mach, and Ferrothorn. So he really struggled after he lost like one of his defensive backbones in Garchomp, which I think it was like had a lot of physical defense because the crit guaranteed mattered. But yeah, like he really struggled versus my core anyway, because he probably was like a bulky, like he was a bulky Scissor with probably Bullet Punch, U-turn, maybe SD, but SD U-turn doesn't break through my core at all. Probably needed SD knockoff if he had it, and like SD Roost Bullet Punch U-turn is like the most likely coverage. If he didn't have the SD, he was walled by my Aloe, he was walled by my Ferrothorn, he was walled by my Salazzle. Terrakion probably was a threat if I allowed him to set up to +2/+2, but what is he setting up on? Like he can't set up on Alomomola, he can't set up the Fable because of this Moonblast. I Toxic him with Salazzle, I Gyro Ball him with Ferrothorn, and like, yes, he can set up once on Mark, but he then has to decide if he wants to go for a Swordsman or Rock Polish. And I might have been unaware Clefable in the back, I don't know. Maybe I was, so that I can't shoot any hits from SD Terrak and SD Scissor anyway. So this is week 1 of the NPL, pretty hype game, pretty hype start for me. Obviously, super stupid crit. Game would have been a lot closer, I would say. Definitely not would have been a 6-0 win for me. That's what I can say guaranteed. But we take those. There will be matches where I will get unlucky this season, and yeah, it's nice to get off to a good start. After this week, actually, just a little update. I traded Salazzle to my Bonova actually for Greninja, and my Alone Persian for his Komala, and I dropped my Rotom and my newly acquired Komala for Flygon and Pignite, the boss. So this should be fun. They're definitely coming to some games. Pignite's a nice heat, bulky fire type from tier 5 that I decided to grab. And yeah, we will see how that one goes in the future. So that's week 1. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and a comment if you did. And yeah, I think I catch you in the next video. We are playing Nick aka Reckless Bat. who's back in my division um, next week, and this should be a high one. He's a very threatening team with like Tapu Lele, Excadrill, Megatita, bunch of threats, and like we'll see how we fare against that. But anyway, that's the video for today, and I catch you in the next one. See ya.